Alright guys, I am back with my review of this week's WWE Monday Night Raw for April 21st, 2014. Show starts with Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. Stephanie McMahon comes out and says that at Extreme Rules it's going to be Kane versus Daniel Bryan. And Kane's music hits, so Daniel Bryan is looking for Kane. He's trying to protect Brie. And all of a sudden Kane pops out from the bell ringers area. He attacks Daniel Bryan. Tombstones him on the floor, tombstones him on the steps. Paramedics try to take him out on a stretcher. Kane flips it over, tombstones him on top of the announce table, and finally the paramedics are able to carry Daniel Bryan off. Now, I read online that Daniel Bryan just found out that his dad passed away, and he insisted on doing the show tonight. They were going to give him the night off. So that says a lot about his character, but what I thought was weird about this is not long ago Daniel Bryan was on TV and he said, I'm about to marry Brie Bella, the love of my life, go on a honeymoon, I'm the world champion, headlined WrestleMania. I think maybe it was a tweet or something, I can't remember. But he said, everything is going great in my life right now. My life is perfect. And when I heard about this, the first thing I thought was, man, when everything is going perfect, that's when something bad is going to happen. And I'm just pessimistic that way. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. It's a terrible thing. I feel really bad for Daniel Bryan, but you got to give the guy credit for even showing up to work after finding out something like that. But also about this whole Kane thing, Kane is clearly a filler opponent for Daniel Bryan at Extreme Rules, but this is good. I thought the Tombstone stuff, taking out Daniel Bryan, was awesome. And even though I'm not a big fan of Kane in 2014, the fact that WWE is giving Daniel Bryan filler opponents means they want to give him a long run. And having him beat guys like Kane will legitimize that run. So this is all awesome. Then it's Wade Barrett versus Sheamus in the Intercontinental title tournament. Sheamus goes to dive on Barrett, gets hit with the bull hammer. Barrett wins and advances in the tournament. And I like this because you didn't know who was going to win this match. The WWE has been behind Wade Barrett, but it's also Sheamus, Triple H's workout buddy. So who's going to go over here? But Wade Barrett gets the win. He advances in the tournament. And I also was thinking that Sheamus would make a great heel opponent for Daniel Bryan in the future. And I've heard rumors they want to turn Sheamus heel. And if that's the case and he starts kind of losing matches and then he turns heel, he would be a perfect opponent for Daniel Bryan. The fans can vote for John Cena's opponent tonight. It can be Luke Harper, Harper and Rowan, or all three of the Wyatt family. So Bray Wyatt cuts a great promo on Cena. He's basically trying to get the fans to vote for all three Wyatts. WWE clearly wants all three Wyatts versus John Cena as the main event. So they send Bray Wyatt out there to kind of get the fans to vote in that direction. And they do. It's Jinder Mahal, Drew McIntyre, and Hornswoggle versus Los Matadores and the Bull. And something else I wanted to say about that SmackDown match last week with Hornswoggle and the Bull. You know, looking back on it, the match itself wasn't really that bad. And the commentary was great. They did it on SmackDown, so it's not like they had this huge thing on Raw for Hornswoggle versus the Bull. So it really wasn't that bad. This was not good. Eventually, Los Matadores pick up Drew McIntyre, and the Bull jumps off the top onto Drew McIntyre and gets the win. This just was not entertaining at all. We see Evolution arrive in a limo. They're wearing suits. I thought that was great. So Evolution comes out. Triple H's voice is gone for some reason. And they play a video of their history. The history of Evolution, how they've changed over the years. And this was just awesome stuff. I really like this video. The Shield comes out. Evolution walks up the ramp. The Shield calls them cream puffs. A few times, actually. And they say that at Extreme Rules, Evolution will not work together as a unit. They're all going to look out for themselves. And the Shield is a unit. And they go up the ramp to attack them. And all those guys who attacked the Shield last week come out to protect Evolution. So it just ends in a stare down. But I thought this was pretty good. It's the Usos versus the Rhodes Brothers. Rybacksel's on commentary. And Rybacksel actually came across as babyfaces to me on commentary at least. So the Usos get the win after a super kick on Cody. Cody gets pissed off and storms away. Goldust runs after him. Then Rybacksel attacked the Usos from behind. Ryback shell shocks one of them. It was alright, I guess. It was... A lot of the show was pretty boring. Layla versus Emma. Santino hits Fandango with the Cobra on the outside. Then Emma pulls out a pink Cobra and hits Layla, gets the win. Cena cuts a promo on Bray Wyatt. Paul Heyman and Cesaro come out, and Heyman's cutting a promo talking about Brock ending the streak, and they actually cut to commercial during his promo. But it's Cesaro versus RVD for the Intercontinental title tournament. And Cesaro goes for the swing, but Swagger and Zeb Coulter come out, and Swagger is facing off with Cesaro on the outside like they're about to fight. And then it gets weird. RVD jumps off the top rope to the outside onto Cesaro, but Cesaro counters with an uppercut. So Swagger, who didn't even get hit, just like goes next to the barricade and fucking sits there. And then Heyman and Zeb Coulter go at it, and Cesaro, who's right next to Jack Swagger, is watching this, and he's like, "Hey, you know, what's going on over there?" I can't remember what he said. So of course, while the referee's turned around looking at RVD, who's back in the ring, Swagger just stands the fuck up and throws Cesaro into the ring post. This made Cesaro look like a huge idiot. So Cesaro gets counted out. RVD wins and advances. Afterwards, Cesaro tries to swing Zeb, and Swagger stops him, so Cesaro swings Swagger, and that was it. And also, Cesaro's new music does not fit him at all. Backstage, Cesaro goes up to RVD and says that he couldn't beat him one-on-one. He should thank Swagger and Zeb for that victory, which I thought was great. And then RVD tells him to stay away from Paul Heyman because they've got history together. Oksana versus Paige. Paige makes her tap out. This wasn't very good, but I like Oksana for some reason. I guess she's just different. And it would also have been cool if WWE did a feud with Oksana and Naomi because of the whole eye injury angle. They completely missed out on that. They could have done something cool with Oksana coming out because she broke Naomi's orbital bone or something, and at least had a tiny Divas feud, some type of storyline going on there in that division. Rusev crushes Sin Cara. This was also a match that was not very good, but for what it was, I actually did enjoy it. Rusev crushes him, and they announced that at Extreme Rules it's going to be Rusev versus R-Truth and Xavier Woods in a handicap match. And the thing Lana does where she just says Rusev, and then she waits, and then she says crush, I think that will eventually get a huge pop. I think once Rusev starts to become a bigger monster and get some momentum behind him, because even the guys he's facing like Sin Cara and R-Truth, they get a little offense, but nothing crazy. And that's where they screwed up with Ryback. Ryback was facing fucking jobbers like Jinder Mahal, and they were getting way too much offense on the guy. But that's not really happening with Rusev. So if they build him up as a monster and people get behind him, when Lana says Rusev, people are going to start popping like crazy, and then she waits a little bit and then says crush. That's going to be great stuff. Main event is Cena versus the Wyatts. Oh my god, this was so freaking predictable. So, they beat down Cena for pretty much the entire match. He makes a comeback, starts hitting the shoulder blocks on Bray, hits the AA. Harper and Rowan run in and break it up, so the ref rings the bell. 3-on-1, and they can't even give these guys a win over Cena. It's ridiculous. So then they beat down Cena, they kick his ass, Bray hits the Sister Abigail on him, and after all of this I was thinking, you know, if he pinned him right now, Cena would still kick the fuck out. That's how ridiculous Cena's character is. And at the end of the show, Bray is just holding his head, singing he's got the whole world in his hands. I thought that went on a little too long. Some of the people in the crowd, if you look at their faces, they're like, okay, we get it. But that was the end of the show, and I gotta say, this show was average, possibly below average. It was a pretty boring show. Nothing really special on this one, I thought. You had some cool moments with Kane taking out Daniel Bryan, so he's going to be gone for a week probably. Cena versus the Wyatts wasn't as exciting as it should have been, and just some matches that weren't very good. So that's my review. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on the show in the comments, and thanks for watching.